Tete to my right against Juan Real. John, you John, that's first, right? John Real Casemero from the Philippines, 30 years old, 28 wins, 4 defeats. Solani, a year older, 28 wins, 3 defeats. Just tell us why you think that this is going to be your night. Home country.
First, to have someone like Senator Manny Pacquiao behind you, that just shows what type of talent you are for the senator to, sign you. There's a lot of fighters he could work with, and he sees something special in John Riel. In the Philippines, Casemero's in the top 3 or 4 fighters in the, the best fighters in the Philippines. He's traveled the world. He's fought in 7 different countries. He's won 3 world titles. He's come to England before. So, he feels very good here. He feels very comfortable. And he's really looking forward to entertaining the fans here in Birmingham Saturday night.
How close is he? How much does he know Nonito Donaire?
You know Nonito?
And he was involved in that terrific fight recently against Inui in the World Boxing Series final.
Yeah, he knows Nonito. Not very close, but they've talked before. They've spoke. Nonito has given him some pointers, about the fight. He actually mentioned a couple things about Tete, things that he was working on, because Nonito had come to the Philippines to prepare for the Inoue fight. So Casemero and him are casual friends. They're not very, real close, though.
And they've talked, obviously, about Solani possibly having that fight somewhere down the line against Inui. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first of all, 4th defence of your title, and because of a shoulder injury which ruled you out of that World Series, you've been out of the ring for a while now. Are you concerned about ring rust?
Yeah, of course, I am concerned because I used to be an active fighter. But the way I've been training and the way we've been preparing with my team, I think being away from the ring for a long time won't be a factor to us.
What was the injury exactly?
It was the shoulder tendonitis.
Which side?
The right side.
The right side. So was it just rest, or did you need surgery?
No, it needed a physio to attend it because the muscle had shifted from its original position. So they had to work up on it for a couple of months in order for it to get back to its original place.
I think anybody who's had that sort of injury, I've spoken to boxers before who've had that kind of injury, it's psychologically make yourself trust it, knowing that it could do what it did before you had the problem. Is that what you found?
Yeah, the injury did create a factor in me, but as a true champion, you need to adjust, and obviously you need to adapt, because such things can take you from family route. I don't think the injury is going to stand in my way. I believe I'm going to give a good fight against Casemero. He's a good fighter, and the fans wants to see a good fight.
He's somebody who you've obviously been aware of for a long time. Both of you been in professional boxing for something like 12 or 13 years now. What's his strengths as a fighter? What do you have to watch out for?
Casemero is a good fighter. Sometimes he comes forward, and he can also box, and he's got his power. Those are the things we've worked on, and I believe 30th November we'll deal with all those things and be victorious on the night.
You've shown us some brilliant boxing skills in the time that that we've been able to watch you in the British ring. Do you believe now, though, having had this setback and at the age of 31, that you can still perform at the level that you have been doing?
I still believe I can still perform. It's only a shoulder, but mentally and physically, Zolani is still there. My boxing is still there. My boxing brains are still there. So definitely Zolani will perform once again.
It must have been massively frustrating to you, because a lot of you, I was involved in commentating on that World Series at one stage, and we were all looking forward potentially massively to a fight between yourself and Inui. How much of a disappointment and a frustration was it that didn't happen?
It was very frustrating because we've been working hard, and those were the fights we were looking for, to fight the best in the bantamweight. But unfortunately from my side, I had to pull out because of the injury. But I believe my dream is still continuing, because I'm fighting one of the best, Casemero. And definitely along the line, I'll have to fight Inoue, because he's the IBF and WBA. And I'll defend my title, and hopefully my next fight would be against Inoue.
Unification is what you really crave, isn't it?
Unification is what we want.
Is that fight one which is your big motivation now? I know you've got to fight John on Saturday night, and I promise you I'm not being disrespectful, but is that in the distance the one you really want against Inui?
I don't think it's in the distance. I think this fight is a step closer.
And the fact that he's recently signed for Bob Arum, Frank Warren works closely with Bob Arum, as we all know, I guess that makes it all the more makeable.
Yeah, it's possible for the fight to happen, hopefully early next year or mid next year. I believe Mr. Frank Warren will do whatever he does best to make sure the fight does happen.
So, before that, come Saturday night, I'll ask both of you just to say what sort of a fight it's going to be. Clearly, you both think you're going to win, but let's hear from John Real Casemero first of all. What sort of a fight are we going to see?
For me, I'm a work hard, so maybe I'm a win.
And how do you win? Is it going to be points, knockouts? What do you reckon?
Knock him out. Shoulders coming up. Wish.
This all people he want to knock him out, then I will do my best to knock out.
And Zolani? Somebody up there suggesting his shoulder's going to come off. What do we actually? I think that might be a little bit far-fetched. What are we actually going to see?
No, I don't know, my brother. You're not going to see the shoulder going off. But you'll see the punches landing on Casemero's head.
And you're still going to be the champion?
Definitely. No. I am a WBO World Champion, and I'll remain the WBO World Champion on the 30th of November.
It's a fight I'm looking forward to enormously, and thank you very much indeed for being here and hearing from the fighters who've been so good in responding to questions heard around the country, around the world on the internet. Tickets, as I say, Saturday night are available. You're going to be able to watch